Good afternoon. On behalf of Lipscomb Academy, I want to thank you for your presence here. I especially want to welcome all the parents, grandparents, and friends. You honor these seniors and us by being here today. Seniors, congratulations, you made it. As we spend a few minutes reflecting on the blessings of this group of students, I want to tell you what a blessing it has been for me to get to know your class over the last 2 years. It was a privilege to watch you learn, to worship, to laugh, to celebrate, and to serve. It was an honor to listen as you asked tough questions and wrestled to find the answers, to witness God at work in your lives and to see you use the gifts God has given you in all facets of our school community. As you leave Lipscomb Academy and move in a new direction, I leave you with this passage from Deuteronomy 31:8. The Lord himself goes before you and will be with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. I know God has begun a good work in you, and my prayer is that you will always look for the ways he is continuing to do that work. This morning we have the privilege of coming together one last time as this group to worship and reflect together. Thank you.
Will you bow with me? God, I come before you today just thankful. Thankful that you gave me a school for the past 8 years that I've been able to grow, see you, build some of my closest relationships, and find the true meaning of living a Christ-like life. God, I thank you for my best friends, for the fact that when things happen that I have people around me to build me up. I thank you for the teachers and the administration and everyone in this grade and in the community that's able to uplift no matter what happens. God, our grade's been through up and downs, hard times and good, and yet no matter what happened, you were there and we were there for each other. God, I ask that as we leave this place that doesn't stop, that we continue these relationships, that we continue to love each other as you loved us, that we continue to know that you are with us. God, this isn't the end, this is just the beginning. Help us to take the lessons, the messages, and the things that we've learned and use them in the communities that we go to moving forward. God, help us to love well because you did. God, as we leave this place, help us to not forget our purpose and our calling. God, help us to see you in the things, the small things, the little things, and the things that make living larger than life. God, I love you so much, and I am so thankful to call this place my home and to call these people my family. It's in your son's name I pray. Amen.
Good morning. My name is Ryan Chaffin. For the last 2 years, I've had the privilege of being a part of the Chapel Practicum class. Each year, the class and the spiritual life team are tasked with creating a campus-wide theme to encompass our spiritual focus and that speaks into every aspect of our school. Last year, we celebrated the power of moments by challenging ourselves to look for opportunities to share and see Jesus in every situation. This year, our spiritual theme was Seek. The word itself contrasts from the majority of our past themes because it requires action. To seek is to continually search or make an effort to obtain something that is passionately desired. Chapel Practicum and the spiritual life team wanted to acknowledge the ambitiousness it takes to seek God, but also the significance of doing it. Because of this, we chose Jeremiah 29:13 as our theme verse. You will seek me, and you will find me when you seek me with all of your heart. This reminds us that when we seek God, we will find him, but we have to seek him. A relationship with God requires devotion in its entirety. It's not a simple task, but it's an important one. As this senior class of 2024 moves into a new stage of life, the theme from the past year only becomes more applicable. Each of us will run into new obstacles and tribulations as we transition into college. I encourage all of us to ask ourselves in every situation whether or not we're seeking the right things. When we make new friends, are we seeking traits that will create a lasting relationship, or are we just trying to fit in? Will we choose to seek fulfilling ways to spend our time, or chase after temporary pleasures? Most of all, Will we choose to seek God, even when there aren't parents or teachers encouraging us to? Independence and freedom will be granted to us in the next chapter of our lives, which is all the more reason to seek after a relationship with Him. I'll leave you with this blessing from Proverbs. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make your path straight.
Ephesians 3:17-20. I pray that Christ may dwell in your hearts through faith, and I pray that you, being rooted and established in love, may have power together with all the Lord's holy people, to grasp how wide and long and high and deep is the love of Christ, and to know this love that surpasses knowledge, that you may be filled to the measure of all fullness of God. Now to Him who is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine, according to His power that is at work within us, to Him be glory in the church and in Christ Jesus throughout all generations, forever and ever.
Would everyone please stand as we worship the Lord? Bless the Lord, O my soul, O my soul. Worship His holy name. Sing like never before, O my soul. I'll worship your holy name. The sun comes up, it's a new day dawning. It's time to sing your song again. Whatever may pass and whatever lies before me, let me be singing when the evening comes. Bless the Lord, O my soul, O my soul. Worship His holy name. Sing like never before, O my soul. I'll worship your holy name. You're rich in love and you're slow to anger. Name is great and your heart is kind. For all your goodness I will keep on singing. 10,000 reasons for my heart to find. Bless the Lord, O my soul, O my soul. Worship His holy name. Sing like never before, O my soul. I'll worship your holy name. And on that day when my strength is failing, the end draws near and my time has come, still my soul will sing your praise unending. 10,000 years and then forevermore. Bless the Lord, O my soul, O my soul. Worship His holy name. Sing like never before, O my soul. I'll worship your holy name. Bless the Lord, O my soul, O my soul. Worship His holy name. Sing like never before, I'll worship your holy name. I'll worship your holy name. You may be seated.
This is a time of celebration. Over the past few days, milestones have been marked and we have celebrated significant accomplishments. And while those are important and well-deserved, today we focus on the ways God has been at work in, around, and through us during our time at Lipscomb. We know that the growth of faith is a journey that we will be on for the rest of our lives, and Lipscomb has strived to provide faith for faith formation, not just for the imparting of knowledge, but space for exploration, application, questioning, and practice, space for faith to grow. During our time at Lipscomb, we have been spiritually formed through experiences in classrooms, on fields, courts, and stages, as we have learned more about living in relationship with God, ourselves, and others. There are 6 spiritual formation values that provide a foundation for faith development at Lipscomb. As students, we have been in relationships with peers and advisors, coaches, and directors that have helped us experience God in real ways and the life that comes from community. Through those relationships, we have learned to notice the presence of God and his activity in, around, and through us. We have been reminded that every person is made in God's image, and recognizing his image in others, even those who disagree with us, allows us a more true and vivid understanding of God's character. We have been challenged to explore our faith in ways that are relevant to the world around us and begin to realize that faith is not separated from the ways that we make our decisions and engage in social issues or the difficult conversations of our world. And finally, we have been encouraged to discover the unique ways God has gifted each of us and to explore opportunities to use those gifts in service, knowing that serving others as Jesus modeled is a key to the most abundant life. Now we have the opportunity to hear several other seniors share their thoughts and experiences about each of these values and how God has been at work in teaching and shaping us during our time at Lipscomb. We begin with Avery Calendine and Mason Baker reflecting on relationship.
I didn't grow up at Lipscomb. I'm not a lifer. I've been other places. But this is what I know to be true about Lipscomb. It's different. Hanging out with people, being called my name in the halls, laughing at lunch, and even just goofing off with my friends in art are some of my best memories. Sorry, Miss Rickleton. I've heard it said that you are the sum of the 5 people you hang out with most. The people I have been around at Lipscomb have made me better. Relationships are what make this place special.
I've been at Lipscomb since pre-K. I've known some of you since we wore the little plaid jumpers and chased each other on the playground. Some of you I've only known for a short time. It doesn't matter how much time we've known each other because now we are friends. This community is how God gave me everything that I needed. When I was upset, you all were the source of joy that I needed. You have shown me the characteristics of Jesus. While there are so many memories, I especially think of the times that you have made me laugh, the times when we were just hanging out and enjoying time together, whether that was cheering on the football team together or just trying our best to survive chemistry. Relationships are what make this place special. Relationships take work and intentionality. You make a choice to invest in relationships. They take time. Relationships are not one-sided. It does require you showing up for other people.
The best foundation for strong relationships is showing respect and kindness with everyone you encounter. But there are days when that is tough. It's not always easy to be positive. Some days it's just hard to keep pouring into people. There are days when I feel like I've had enough social interaction and I want to withdraw. That is when it's really hard to keep investing in relationships, but they matter. When we're tired and our social battery is low, we can look at the life of Jesus to see how he refueled so that he could continue to pour into people.
It was common for Jesus to remove himself from the crowd so that he could be alone with the Father. He spent time with his heavenly relationship so that he could minister and tend to the hearts of people. His time with God filled his cup so that he could in turn love people well.
We can do the same. We serve a God who desires to have a relationship with us. It's made clear in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verses 17 and 18, which is one of my favorite verses, where Paul calls us to pray continually and that it's God's will for us. There aren't a lot of rules or requirements. We just have to approach him. We bring him our hearts and unload our anxieties and worries, and he listens.
Abiding with God fills our cups. When I spend time with God, either in prayer or reading scripture, I find strength and joy. When I am filled, I know I love people better and my relationships flourish. So now it is time for us to leave many of the relationships that this school holds. We are going different directions to accomplish different things, but we all take with us the experience here that have grounded us in the value of relationships.
As we leave, I encourage you to remember that our relationship with the Father allows us to reflect him into the people surrounding us. You never know who might see God in us just when they need it most. Relationships matter.
Presence. Presence is simply the state of being somewhere. It is not uncommon for a teacher to call your name out as they are checking attendance, and the typical response is present, meaning I am here. But you can also physically be somewhere and not be fully present. It's not difficult to tell the difference. Someone who isn't present doesn't really care. They blow things off. Being present feels different and looks different. It is showing up, and I've seen people here at Lipscomb show up. I've seen it in the cast of the spring play. I could tell they were doing something that they loved. I could tell the cast showed up because they cared about what they were doing. I've seen it in our chapel prac class. They work hard to tie things together so that it makes sense to the rest of us. It is evident that they care about what they're doing, and it matters to our school. They show up. Students are not only the people who are fully present at school. There are many adults who care about people and not just about their jobs. I think about our academic counseling staff who does this really well. I can tell they care about me as a person and not just the classes I take. They take time to check on me and see how I'm doing. This is not just for me, but for all of us. Our advisors show up too. I remember one day when my zipper broke on my hoodie, and the problem was I didn't have a uniform shirt under. I knew Miss Ackerman would start tripping on me for being out of dress code. I didn't know what other to do than to go find my advisor, Senora Whitman. She's been my advisor for 3 years, and I know she cares about me. Of course, she put on her mom cape, and she fixed my zipper. She demonstrated what it means for me to show up for somebody. This isn't surprising that I've seen all this in the people at Lipscomb. As people who claim to follow Jesus, it's natural that we will mirror what God is like. He's a God who is present. It's real. I feel it in lots of different ways. For me, I feel his presence when I'm doing the things that I believe he created me to do. For me, when I play football or play basketball, I know that he is present. Whether it is nailing a theater performance, pointing people to God through a well-planned chapel, or making someone feel valued by saying hello, or even just fixing a zipper, showing up for others is a way for us to reflect Jesus. God's presence is all around us when we take time to notice.
Romans 12:9-16. Love must be sincere. Hate what is evil. Cling to what is good. Be devoted to one another. Honor one another above yourselves. Never be lacking in zeal, but keep your spiritual fervor serving the Lord. Be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, faithful in prayer. Share with the Lord's people who are in need. Practice hospitality. Bless those who are persecuted you. Bless, do not curse. Rejoice with those who rejoice. Mourn with those who mourn. Live in harmony with one another.
When I think about relevance, what I see are related events. Relevance was spraying down desks after every class freshman year, or rotating every 15 minutes. Did any of y'all actually do that? A stray cough would banish you into a square on a screen. Digital prison, but at least you could sleep in. And how is any of this relevant to what I have to say? Well, related is the way that every one of us learned how to adapt. Forced to, maybe. Wanted to, probably not, but we learned it nonetheless. And it is nonetheless a skill that we will take with us, because though our faces were masked, we learned to stay on task, and we excelled these past years in a way no one could have expected. Relevance was the way that we all laughed about Stephen Thursday, but the people in that class learned how to serve. And there were many days when the Oreos or cakes and Miss Thompson's begrudging smile were the high point of my week. Related to those moments of Hawaiian punch-filled solo cups are the days to come when we visit the sick, we mentor the young, we stand for the hurting and see the beautifully and wonderfully made in every person, every day. Relevance was being able to ask Mr. Wheeler, why are we learning this? Challenging him for whatever reason with the intention of stalling class or just to ask. He answered with the same respect and genuine interest regardless. And related to those questions are the moments still to come when a student sitting in this space takes ownership of their college education. Next year, the year after, equipped with the ability to ask questions and, of course, a quote for every occasion. Relevance was the way we felt disappointment together and celebration, and we weathered it all, whether courageously or stubbornly as a community. We stormed the field with thunderous cheering, and that sound will keep on ringing through these halls and our ears when we all have careers that need experts in field storming. The learning we did here will last longer, lessons that matter balanced with a healthy dose of laughter, because relevance is the relatedness between these foundational days and the ways we behave forever after.
Images give us small insights into who or what something truly is. Before I visited the Grand Canyon a few years ago, I'd only ever seen it in pictures. I thought it looked nice, but the picture of it was only a small reflection of how breathtaking it really was. Or when my family went to adopt my little sister, we'd only ever seen a picture of her, but that picture was just a small glimpse into the amazing sister that she is. Or when I was little and I took a trip to the botanical gardens, I'd only ever seen images of lily pads. So when I first saw them in person, I'd somehow come to the belief that people could hop on them like frogs in those pictures, and that led to me falling in a pond because they did not hold me up like I thought they would. Some images don't always reflect reality, but here at Lipscomb, they do. At Lipscomb, people reflect the image of God. One way I've seen the image of God is through the teachers here. There have been many times when I've been stressed, worried, or confused, but have been reassured and given peace by a teacher. My advisor, Mrs. Smith, is constantly encouraging us, and I've seen the image of God through her kindness and her servant heart. I've also seen the image of God through the students here. I believe our senior class has a very contagious joy and spirit that reflects God's own, and this has brought me and many others lots of laughter and smiles. This senior class is also so supportive of each other. There have been many times where I've gone to someone in this class when I've needed to be lifted up, and that someone is always quick to do so. Encouraging others and calling out their identity is one of Jesus' defining characteristics. Finally, there is a unity among this class that transcends cliques and friend groups, and that is something that can be difficult to achieve, but models the image of God so well. As we graduate, I encourage you all to continue to walk in the ways of God and reflect his image. Draw closer to him, and he will draw closer to you, and then you will be his light and reflect his image. I've already seen the Lord in each person here, and I'm so excited to see him continue work through you all.
If you all would please stand as we continue worshiping. The splendor of a King, clothed in majesty, let all the earth rejoice, all the earth rejoice. He wraps himself in light, and darkness tries to hide. It trembles at his voice, trembles at his voice. How great is our God! Sing with me, how great is our God! And all will see how great is our God. And age to age he stands, and time is in his hands, beginning and the end, beginning and the end. The Godhead three in one, Father, Spirit, Lion and the Lamb, the Lion and the Lamb. How great is our God. Sing with me, how great is our God. And all will see how great is our God. You may be seated.
Hello, my name is Edwin Spillman, and today I'm going to talk about giftedness. Often when we think of giftedness, it's easy to think of talents, things like being smart, fast, artistic, or musical. I think of a gift as a blessing. It's something that has been given to us, and then we have a choice of whether we will use it for good or not. We can choose whether we accept it with humility and impact the world, or use it selfishly. During my time at Lipscomb, I've seen a lot of gifts used well. Gifts like kindness, gifts like humility, gifts like genuineness, and gifts like speaking truth and sharing the wisdom of God. I've seen students who were willing to use their gifts to benefit me and others through hosting Bible studies. I think about two of my former teammates who use their fun and outgoing personalities to bring people together and then lead us closer to Jesus. I think of Jeremy Holt and other coaches who use their gifts to make us stronger, but also teach us how to live well. Every day I've benefited from teachers who use their gifts to teach and make our community a better place. I believe that God knew from the beginning the gifts he gave us. In Jeremiah, he says, "Before I formed you, I knew you. I set you apart, I appointed you." To me, that seems like God designed each and every one of us with intention and purpose. Society often tells us that our gifts are ours and should be used for selfish gain and our own glory, but that's not right. We're called to use our gifts to impact others. Using our gifts well will lead to fulfillment. It's actually our gift back to God when we use them for his own glory and not our own. And the irony is that when we use them for others, we will find abundant life. My encouragement for you as we go on to the next part of our lives is to recognize the gifts you have as a blessing from God. Use them well to impact the people around you for good, and look forward to the day God will say, "Well done, good and faithful servant." Thank you.
When they asked me to talk about service, I couldn't help but think about my experience with service this year and how much growing up I've had to do. I've seen families separated, children traumatized, and people too defeated to stand. I've listened to stories of horrific abuse, things I could hardly believe humans were capable of. I've held babies condemned by statistics, predicted from birth to end up on the streets or in prison. Without getting too far into it, I've learned that our world is very broken, and we can't fix it all by sheer force of will. It feels hopeless sometimes, pointless to try, and it's tempting to return to the naivete of childhood when these things were kept from us, but we aren't children anymore. So the question is, what do we do? This question can be answered by another. What do we love? We live in a fallen world, a fact that's all too easy to remember. But Jesus chose to dwell here, with the most fallen people of all. He turned his face towards us and said, "What can I do?" Why? Because he loves us. With death and destruction surrounding us, love is what keeps this world from being a complete disaster. Love gives us hope. It makes everything worth it. It never fails. When we choose love, we choose him. We were not born to spend our entire lives making ourselves more comfortable. Choosing him is choosing a life of service, whatever that looks like. It will be hard, it will be messy, and it will be heartbreaking. But love is always worth your energy. Always. Do the things that you love. Lean into what you love. Fight for what you love. That's what we were born to do.
Hello, my name is Jake Rosenthal.
And my name is Caroline Jackson, and we have served as the student body president and vice president this past year.
We have been given the task today of giving a blessing to the senior class. From planning the senior sunrise at the beginning of the year to finalizing activities for our last week at Lipscomb, there have been so many moments that have made us thankful for the people sitting in this auditorium today?
In thinking about what we should say to our classmates as we begin this new and daunting chapter of life, we thought about some phrases and advice that we would want to hear.
You will find friends.
Make sure to take care of yourself.
Don't be afraid to ask for help.
It's all going to be okay.
We have had the opportunity to see firsthand the potential that all of you possess. Our encouragement is to go do great things. You have the ability to make this world a more beautiful place, further the kingdom of God, and spread the love of Christ. But in all of your academic and professional pursuits, stay true to the knowledge that you are never too far from those who love you.
As Youth Poet Laureate Amanda Gorman says, "Goodbye, by which we say to one another, thanks for offering your life into mine. By goodbye, we truly mean, let us be able to say hello again." We encourage you to feel free to grow and move on and become your own person, because these relationships will still be here. There are still people that love you and will support you here and would love to eventually say hello again.
As we set off on this new journey in different cities with all new people, don't be scared to face the unknown and branch out, because no matter what you do, you can always find your way back home.
Our blessing to you is that you can be confident in the knowledge that God is always with you, because as it says in Deuteronomy 31:8, He goes before us and He will not leave us or forsake us.
Class of 2024, it has been an honor to spend this year working with you to create lasting memories of our final year at Lipscomb Academy.
We are so grateful for the ways that you have supported us and each other. We are so excited to see how you make the world a better place.
Go do great things.
And go Mustangs.
Seniors, parents, honored guests, it is my joy to have the opportunity today to represent the Lipscomb Academy faculty and staff and offer you a final blessing as you prepare to graduate. In her collection of poems, The Hurting Kind, Poet Laureate Ada Limon describes a conversation with her mother while driving in the car after making funeral preparations for her grandfather. She writes, "You can't sum it up," my mother says as we are driving, and the electronic voice, the GPS, says, "Turn left on Wildwood Canyon Road." So I turn left, happy for the instructions. Tell me where to go. Tell me how to get there. She means a life, of course. You cannot sum it up. It would be so easy to have a GPS to give us directions, instructions, a manual on how to live a life. The poet's happy for the instructions. She's trying to process the enormous emotions of loss and wants to know how to do it. We all want to know what to do in life, where to go, how to be better. We like the instructions. As a teacher, I have been giving instructions that no one really wants to hear for almost 20 years. So I'm not here to offer instructions like a GPS navigation system because, to be honest, most days I have no idea what I'm doing and I need and want the instructions, especially when I'm trying to be a parent. We are all unfinished, trying to figure out what it means to live a meaningful life. None of us have arrived and figured it all out. But as we work towards building lives that glorify God and you get ready for your next set of stories, I want you to think about the goodness that already lies inside of you. On the last day of class with my seniors, I asked them to consider what they want to continue in the world after they leave high school. They choose a word and write it on a ceiling tile in my classroom as a symbol of their commitment to continue something good in this world. You should come see it. It looks really good. So to extend that last lesson, I would like to share what I hope you can all continue as you prepare to leave Lipscomb. My blessing to you is to continue the good work you are already doing. I can give you countless examples of the good work I've seen you do in your time here. So as you prepare to leave, I want you to think about your goodness. No instructions, no insights, no new advice. Just continue your good work and the good things we already see inside of you. Continue to be gentle with yourself. Your voice is the voice you hear most often. Since your voice is not a GPS system giving you these step-by-step instructions, trust your instincts and go easy on yourself as you navigate all the new that's about to come. You're going to make mistakes, but continue to give yourself grace. Continue to be who you are. Don't turn into a stale version of who you think you should be according to the world's standards. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. Protect yourself from turning into something you aren't just to please the world. Continue to gaze inward instead of outward. Our world is constructed in a way that asks you to put something out there and wait for someone to react with a like or a comment. Before you share your gifts and talents with the world, gaze inward with confidence that you are, again, fearfully and wonderfully made, and learn who you truly are and who you are called to be. Try to find your worth inward before you reach outward into the world. Continue to avoid the judgments of the people when you put something out in the world, especially those who don't count in your life. It will take discernment to figure out who should count, but a good place to start is by looking at the people around you in this moment. Continue to surround yourself with these kinds of people. Look at the ones whose shoulders you've been standing on to get to this moment. It won't be long before someone is going to be standing on your shoulders, and you'll be lifting them up. Continue to love the small things that go unnoticed, and continue to get excited about small things. When you love unpretentious and small things, you're engaging with every intricate detail of God's design and the contentment that life can bring. I always loved how excited you all would get over small things like stickers in English class. Continue to live the questions. One day, if you are lucky, and maybe when you are really, really old, you'll live into the answers. In the meantime, continue to ask the important questions and continue your humility and understanding that there is still a lot left to learn. Continue to believe in a love that has been preserved for you like a legacy. Look around this place and all the people who love you. Believe in that legacy. When life is unbearable, which it will be at some point, that legacy will be there to hold you up. Continue to ask for help. It's the bravest thing you can do. Continue to laugh. I think this senior class has made me laugh every single day this year. Continue to be brave and tough and resilient. Your class has endured a lot of unprecedented things, and we have watched you navigate all these tough things with so much strength. Continue to learn what you find worth learning and share it with others. People have done this before, sat here, listened to a speech, graduated, and moved on to the next chapter. But you haven't done this yet. But hear me say, you are ready. Enjoy it, remember it, share it with others. There are no GPS instructions on how to live a life, but if you continue the good things you've shared with us, you're all going to be okay. The faculty and staff at Lipscomb are honored to be a part of your story. Parents, thank you for sharing your most precious gifts with us. Seniors, you are our beloved class of 2024. Now it's time to share all you have been, all you will be, and go and make this world beautiful. Look how far you've come. Continue to be who you are. This world needs you and all you have to offer. I love you. We love you. Congratulations.